shoot. Man, he's just sitting there in the car. They're just kind of walking around him. All his windows were busted out. Yeah. Second lane on the highway. No ambulance. He's just sitting in the car. I don't even know if he is whiplash or, just dazed and confused. That is just freaking crazy. Man. You see those things and you're just like, this is crazy though, what happened to me. I'll tell you the story. This car, it's a 2019 Rio, Kia. It's a Kia brand, Rio. They're way better than they were 5 years ago, I can tell you that. It'll stop on its own, okay? So it has a radar, and it did that. I was in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and there was an old lady. She was probably about 70. She was a home ec teacher at North Richland Junior High for many years. I think I'd walk by her class in junior high. It was like near maybe the art room or something. I remember smelling, or maybe in the middle of the halls. I remember smelling the home ec class, and I remember seeing her, and I recognized her. She was older. I think she was there when I was in North Richland Junior High. And I gave her a ride, and we were talking, and she was really even keel, really nice lady, 70s. I told her I was very honored to give her a ride. And so I'm just talking away, and I'm trying to figure out the auto Android app to look at my screen right there. So it was funky because I had an adapter cord rather than a regular cord. So it would go in and out, and I would lose my ways on the actual screen. So I would go back to the phone, looking back down and talking to her, and all of a sudden, she's 70 years old, and it's like, beep, 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 and I'm like, because it'll stop the car. And I'm like, whoa, I might have caught it. I've caught a couple of them in the other car when you're in bumper to bumper and you get a message and, oh crap, but she was such a champ about it. It wasn't really, we were going very slow, but we didn't hit anything. It auto brakes. It's a AI, artificial intelligent braking system or whatever, it's controlled by radar. So, but it makes a noise before it brakes, so you can feel the brakes move underneath your foot, and it goes beep, 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 beep. It sounds like an emergency, like when an airplane's going down, and like, everybody's like, oh, passengers, beware, it's beep, 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 and she just took it like a champ. She was like 70 years old. I told her, I was like, listen, all this technology is overkill, and she just smiled. And then of course I drove home. She had to give me some of the directions towards the end because my Waze was cutting out on the screen, and I didn't use it anymore after that. I used just the phone. But what I was wondering, the whole reason it kind of happened was because the setup here is not designed to hang your phone, okay? You don't really have the old school CD player or a device or an entry device, I guess you could say, to mount your phone, okay? You kind of don't. So if you look at it, you just have a screen. I think this is 2019, and it only had like, I don't know, maybe under 1,000 miles on it, but you had your screen and you have, all this stuff. But it's got all these features that I don't even know about. And I had to call in the dealership to start learning about the Bluetooth audio. Is obviously easy. We know that. But you have an app called Auto App or App Auto. No, Android. That's right. I use Android. So it's Android Auto. And it's just like, you connect through your phone, but you can also use your screen to access the internet because you're using your phone like a hotspot for the accessible internet connection that's connected to the phone. To the dash, to the actual screen. So that's the accessible internet connection that's on the screen. It's accepting internet, but it has to be plugged in, and that's what's kind of weird, because I know that there's other Kias that you don't have to plug it in. You can just set it down and it'll go right to the internet, and so your car becomes like connected to the internet. But it wants to be plugged into a Wi-Fi device, or really it's a pipeline is what we would say back in the day. So your car is plugged into a pipeline, which your phone is acting basically like a Wi-Fi mediator, or like a modem. Your phone is acting as a modem, so the car can be connected. But the problem is I was using adapter cord, which isn't the genuine cord for the phone. So it was going in and out of the internet, and I was trying to use the screen because it'll access ways on this. I can't really show you because it's not as helpful as you think. Some of the other brands that I've seen, like the Stinger and some of the other luxury vehicles for Kia, are more accessible to the internet while you're driving. The problem with plugging it in is it creates more confusion for the driver, because you're dealing with a middleman, which is the Android Auto, which is the app, the Android Auto app. So it's a middleman, and so if you go to look at your phone and look at Waze or Google Maps or whatever you like to use, you have to go past the Android Auto app. You have to go past it. So you have to find, I guess with the Samsungs or with the Android phones, you have to push a little button up with your thumb so you can access the exit menu, if that's what you want to call it, and you can go past the Android Auto app and then to your own Waze, which is on your phone and not on the screen. You have two different ways working. It's pretty much the same. You can even do reports of crashes and police and things like that, but it's actually quicker to use your phone in some instances. So you're actually doing more work until you get simulated, or until you get assimilated, or what's the right word, acclimated to what you're doing. So you're using like more of your brain kind of thing to drive. So you're going back to your phone because you're used to using your phone, then you're going back to the screen. So it's not a good program. I'm sorry, but Yuvo, is it Yuvo? I think they call it Yuvo. It's too, there's too much of a middleman. So you're looking at the screen, and I guess it was maybe because I used the adapter cord. So I was looking at my screen, and then it would cut out or whatever, and I'd go back to my phone. One thing I could do is say, "Okay, Google," and it would go. The car was connected to the internet, so it would pull up, "Okay, Google," and then I could see Waze, an option, and that was how I figured it out. And I could hit on Waze, and then it would go back to Waze. So it is convenient in the fact that it will connect to Waze. So this will connect to Waze, but you have to have the cord connected to the actual car. It's a USB cord that's down here, down there like that. So you're dealing, sorry about the crackles, but you're dealing with a lot of issues right here. The way that I that I saw it with when I was shown a Stinger Kia, and when I was shown some luxury vehicles, you had a screen and you projected the phone onto the screen, but I don't think you had to plug anything in. I may be wrong, because I don't know if the saleswoman that showed me back in the day, it was a lady, I don't think she connected everything and showed it to me. But from my understanding of looking at the car, it was, all you had to do was have your phone in the car and it would project on the screen. That's a good idea. So here's some other ideas. You have your phone and you can lay it on a wireless charger and it can project on the screen and you don't have to do anything. There's no app or anything that you really need. I know we're in the beginning stages, but they need to hurry up and get to that, because dealing with the Android Auto app is a little dangerous. Because you're going back and forth, because your phone is still accessible. So you're like, oh, I can just look on Waze. Oh, well, there it is. Oh, you know, you got two at one time. You're doing two at one time, kind of thing. But anyway, that's my take on it. All right. Anyway, I just wanted to do that review.